Most cannabis operators believe they understand their cost, but in many cases, what they're working with is just an estimate. Estimated labor, estimated cannabis inputs, estimated non-cannabis materials. And when your cost structure is estimated, the decisions built on top of it, like pricing, production planning, capital investments, they're estimated as well. I've operated cannabis facilities firsthand. Before that, I come from a manufacturing environment where true cost tracking was the standard. When I stepped into cannabis operations, one of the biggest differences I noticed was the lack of real step level cost visibility. Not because operators weren't capable, but because the systems weren't designed to accumulate costs the way modern manufacturing does. In this video, I want to walk through why true batch cost is difficult to see inside many cannabis operations and what it looks like when you have an accurate step level visibility. In many operations, batch cost is calculated at a summary level. Total labor hours are gathered at the end of a production cycle, total cannabis inputs reviewed from inventory adjustments, non-cannabis materials, packaging, supplies, consumables are often rolled up separately, and then the totals are divided across the finished units. On paper, that creates a cost, but it doesn't reflect how cost actually accumulates during production. Labor may vary significantly between steps and batches. Material loss may occur during trimming, extraction, post-processing. Additional supplies may be used that never get directly tied to a specific task. By the time a batch is complete, the cost is a summary, not a step-by-step accumulation. Spreadsheets are manual adjustments, often to fill in the gaps, but they don't create visibility into what actually happened during the production. And this is where blind spots form. When cost is summarized instead of accumulated, you lose clarity about where efficiency is gained or lost. If labor isn't tracked by task, you can't clearly see where time is being spent. If cannabis inputs aren't attached to an individual step, it's difficult to measure loss or yield impact. If non-cannabis materials aren't allocated as production moves forward, product comparisons become less reliable. Over time, this affects pricing decisions, strain allocations, equipment investment planning, even hiring strategy. Small inaccuracies may not seem significant on a single batch, but across months of production, they compound. Without step-level visibility, profitability becomes reactive instead of intentional. The goal isn't to make costing more complicated. It's to make it more accurate. And accuracy comes from tracking costs, where it actually occurs. In a modern production environment, cost accumulates as work is completed. Each production task has assigned labor, has tracked time, has cannabis inputs allocated, and has non-cannabis materials attached. As the batch moves from step to step, cost builds automatically. Labor isn't estimated after the fact, it's measured during execution. Material usage isn't summarized, it's tied directly to the workflow. By the time the batch is finished, the inventory cost already reflects what occurred. There's no need for large manual reconciliations, and more importantly, operators can see where cost changes from one batch to another. That's the difference between estimated inventory costs and accumulated inventory costs. If you don't have visibility into true batch costs, it doesn't mean your operation is failing. It simply means you're operating with limited information. In an industry where margins matter, clarity creates control. When labor, cannabis inputs, and non-cannabis materials are tracked step by step, cost becomes transparent. And when cost is transparent, decision-making improves. If you'd like to see what real batch cost visibility looks like inside a production environment, you can schedule a walkthrough. But regardless of the systems you use, the key takeaway is this: understand your cost structure at the level your operation deserves.